In this lesson, we'll cover middleware in Express.js. Middleware are some kind of functions that have access to the request and, for example, response. As I mentioned before, it's something over there if you can use your imagination, and then they can execute any code, make some kind of changes of users to the request and change some kind of responses, however we would like to change. Middleware functions are a central part of Express application, as they can help you manage and modify the request and the responses. And they are executing in the order they are defined in the application. So we define the order, for example, of the middleware that we are going to use. And that's the thing that is built in inside Express.js. Of course, there are much more the things that we can get from Express.js. There are not only the thing that we are using from ourselves, but also we can get a lot of, as you can see, for example, Express.json that we were using. Of course, there is URL encoded that we will be probably using, and static to serve some kind of static files, and so on. Of course, not only Express.js serve that middleware, you can get the third-party libraries to have that middleware working. Okay, as we know, the middleware that we are using is that one over there. But however, we would like to get some kind of, for example, middleware created by ourselves. And to do that, that's quite easy to create very useful and handful easy to use middleware. For example, we'll get const console middleware, wherever we'll get request, response, and next. That's the third parameter that we've got from here. And we will just get there. And we'll, for example, console log I am middleware. And with that, we need to get next as our argument. Whenever we, for example, go to our main route, we'll console middleware provide over there. As you can see, we can also have console.log console.log I am get route. We also recreated our application, go to our new tab, go to our local host. As you can see, we've got everything that we would like to have. And the first thing that was called is I am middleware. So as I mentioned before, it's executed before we just done anything with our application from there. Of course, how we can also use our middleware, if you know, there is some kind of things that we can change and use our middleware to make our code more readable and more easy to understand. For example, we will just provide only that line of code. And whenever we copy it, we can create const get ID or is the ID available. You can call it wherever, however you'd like to have. Next, and over there, we'll just paste the resource. We will return resource, and we'll call next over there. And with that, as you can see, there is next that is underlined. But whatever we'd like to just not provide the next that we've got over here. And we will just only copy that as a middleware, and we will just get it to our app.delete and delete that one. So remember, we just get to our third delete route. So I mean first delete route, but it's the third one that is using the ID params. And we'll just console.log, of course. It is the middleware. Okay, we just go briefly there, rerun our application. Remember that we are using a delete. And what will happen? We just go to our postman, get to delete, call, for example, second argument, send it, and as you can see, that's sending the response over and over again. And whenever we do not provide the next, that will be the problem. And how we can solve it? Just not returning, just calling the next. And how we can get to the resource from our application. That's the question that we will just go briefly. And to do that, we need to get the request. So request, for example, that resources, we'll just call ID equals resource. And with that in mind, we can get to our resource over there and let resource equals request dot ID. That will just get from our middleware. We recreate our Node.js application, go to our routes, delete that, go back, there is no error, and then get, post that, and as you can see, we've got our 2 elements only. But how is it working? To show you, because we still working inside our request, because right there we will sending the response at the end of the application only. Whenever you return, you cannot go to the next. Whenever you next, your return does not count really, because it's go later and more deep inside it. And as the lesson, you can recreate and use is the available in that 2 routes that we've got over here, and get the resource to get the function that we provide over here. More simplified, of course, we can also recreate and get that resource to our is the ID available function, but I will stick only with the simple one, middleware, to let you understand what is a middleware. We'll go through the middleware inside our main application in a lot topics. So don't worry, we will just return to all the requests, all the routes, all the middlewares whenever we start building our application. So see you at the next lesson, where I will show you what databases we can use and we will use in that tutorial. So stay tuned.